Walk through the historic center of a big city and everything looks perfect. Restored facades, clean streets, full terraces. But look closely. Many of those homes have no neighbors. They have guests who change every 3 nights. The old bakery is now a fridge magnet shop. The square where children played is a photo spot. The neighborhood still stands, but almost nobody lives in it. Last summer, in some cities, residents took to the streets with water pistols. They sprayed tourists and shouted at them to go home. The question that holds this video together is uncomfortable. When does a city stop being a place of life and turn into a stage set? To understand it, we must look at the mechanism, not only the nuisance. A home rented to residents gives a stable, modest income. The same home rented by the night to tourists can yield far more. That difference changes everything. The owner stops looking for a neighbor and looks for a visitor. Flat by flat, the neighborhood empties of life and fills with suitcases. Local commerce follows the same path. The hardware shop and the haberdashery cannot pay what a souvenir store pays. And so proximity commerce disappears. The city is not destroyed. It is turned into a product. And a product does not need neighbors, it needs passing customers. The most cited example is Barcelona. In a single year, the city received around 23 million visitors who stayed overnight. Its population barely exceeds 1.5 million inhabitants. In other words, far more tourists than residents. That tourism brings a considerable share of the city's income. But it also strains the housing market to breaking point. Many residents can no longer pay the rent in their own neighborhood. That is why protests have become constant. Marches under the slogan that the city is not for sale. And even threats of a rent strike if prices do not come down. The unrest is no longer anecdotal. It is structural. And this is not an isolated case. The same tension runs across southern Europe. There is a residents' network that gathers protests in several cities at once. Parma, San Sebastian, Lisbon, Venice, and others have joined the same cry. In the Canary Islands, tens of thousands of people marched against the tourism model. The slogan repeats everywhere. Less tourism and more life. Governments are beginning to react. Some city has announced it will ban thousands of tourist flats in the coming years. But the machinery has a long head start. Behind every tourist flat there is an owner who profits, and there lies the root of the conflict. Here it is worth naming things with rigor. The geographer David Harvey speaks of accumulation by dispossession. It is the idea that capital grows by taking from some what it gives to others. Touristification fits that mold. Value is extracted from a neighborhood until it is exhausted, as if it were a mine. That is why many call it urban extractivism. The philosopher Henri Lefebvre defended what he called the right to the city. The right of those who inhabit it to decide over it. Against silent displacement, residents claim something even more basic. We could call it the right to stay. Not to arrive, not to invest. Simply the right to remain where one has built a life. It is worth pausing on the opposite argument and presenting it fairly. Tourism is not an evil in itself. It gives work to thousands of families. It sustains bars, hotels, taxis, and small businesses. It funds the restoration of a heritage that, without visitors, might crumble. Many cities would be poorer without it. And banning it outright also carries a high social cost. Those who live from tourism are neighbors too. The problem, experts say, is not that people come to know the city. The problem is a model without limits, one that turns the visit into dispossession. The difference between visiting and emptying is political. It depends on the rules each city decides to set itself. And here the underlying idea appears. The conflict is not between residents and tourists. It is between two ways of understanding property. For one, housing is a place to live. For the other, it is an asset from which to extract the maximum rent. When the second wins, the city becomes a stage. It can be argued that the tourist is the visible face of a process decided by someone else. The owner who withdraws a home from the residents' market. the fund that buys a whole building to rent it by the night. The data show expulsion. The official story speaks of wealth and city branding. And between those two versions, the future of the historic centre is decided. Let us return to the opening question. When does a city stop being life and turn into a stage set? It happens when rent weighs more than rooms. When the night that is paid for matters more than the neighbour who stays. You do not have to give up tourism to prevent it. It is enough to decide that a city belongs, above all, to those who inhabit it. A historic centre can receive visitors without being hollowed out inside. But that demands setting rules for the market and defending the right to stay. The final question is the simplest one. A city, in the end, for whom is it built, and who is allowed to keep living in it?